Hi there, this is Rene Rubalcava with Odonet, and today I want to talk about some of the new features coming out with the 4.0 version of the ArcGIS JavaScript API. So we are hot on the heels of a release for 4.0 final. That'll be coming out pretty soon. And I just kind of want to do a quick preview on some of the stuff that you're going to be able to do with the 4.0 version of the API. So what we have here is a basic map, and you might recognize this from the Dev Summit Plenary. But basically what I'm showing here is a bunch of the widgets that you get by default with the API. And I've styled them to match the actual data in my application here, which is a lot easier to do now. It's really not that difficult to style out all of the widgets to get this kind of custom styling for your application. And even all the way down to the pop-up, which is really kind of cool. The pop-ups had a lot of work done to it itself. So you can move the pop-up around, dock it. It's responsive if you were to resize the page, and it's a really cool feature of the API. So the whole styling of the API to match your map has been made a lot easier to do now. Another cool feature of the API is working with feature collections, which is a little different than you might be used to in the 3x API. It's pretty easy to define the um, graphics that are going to go in the feature collection, as well as the pop-up template and the fields and everything. And this is a sample here that was pretty much redone from the 3x docs, where you go ahead and we're hitting the Flickr API to display some data on the map, except in this case we're going to show in the globe. And we all have all of our pop-ups predefined here. So this is pretty cool. We're just pulling in this Flickr data and displaying our pop-ups here. And as I said before, you can go ahead and dock the pop-up so it's out in a particular location, and it'll stay in that dock location as you are interacting with your map. That's really kind of cool. Another really cool feature I think that people are going to enjoy from the 4.0 version of the API is going to be working with portal items and web maps. So here I just got a basic map with some data on it. But let's say I want to add new layers to this map. I want those layers to come from portal. Well, it's pretty easy to do now. I've got these portal items listed out on the left-hand side here. And the API for this pretty much is I'm just going to create a item from an item ID in portal, and then I can go ahead and create a layer from that item. And I don't have to even know what layer type it is. I just have to create the layer and it's going to add to my map. And that's pretty cool. So in this case, this sample here, I'm just dragging and dropping. And I have to come down here. I got this cool little burger layer that I found that shows burger joints on the map. And you get all your pop-ups and everything else you would that have been defined on this layer item inside a portal. And that's really cool. That's a nice feature that you get out of the API. Like I said, I think working with portal items and working with the web map is going to be something that people are really going to enjoy using in this version. We also have ArcGIS Dynamic Map Service Layers, which is a mouthful. So they've shortened the name to be Map Image Layer, which is pretty nice. It makes it a lot easier to talk about it. So here we have a layer just showing some census data and cities on the map. And I want to go ahead and I want to change the definition expression to update what is being shown in the map image layer. So I'm going to update the definition expression for population of the cities here, my little slider. And when that's done, it's going to go ahead and update the map. And these items that are in the map image layer are broken down into sublayers, which is very nice to work with. And we have a sample here showing that. So the sublayers kind of replace what you could do with the visible layers for dynamic map services. And it's really nice because now I can just quickly turn layers off and turn them back on again. And it's a great way to be able to work with the map image layers now. And I think people are really going to enjoy working with them a lot more now with a lot of new capabilities that we're giving inside the API to just manage those layers. You also have the ability when you're working with web maps to load up a bunch of web maps ahead of time and initialize them and then add them to the view as needed. So in this case here, I've just gone ahead and I created a few web maps that are just sitting there in my app waiting to be used. I've got one being displayed here in the map view, and I just want to switch out to another one. So I can just click a button here that I've got going through the background and is going to load up another web map onto the view. And I'll just do it again, load another web map to the view, and then I load another web map to the view. And these are all individual web maps, but the same view. I'm just replacing the map on that view, which is really kind of cool. That's like I said, I think using the portal items and the whole portal API and web maps in the API is going to be a lot easier for developers to do some pretty cool and interesting stuff. So I just want to quickly show another little added bonus of something that made it into the 4.0 version of the API is the ability for Esri requests to work inside of a worker. And this isn't 100% complete. It's not totally useful at this point, but you can use Esri requests in worker if you wanted to. Let's launch it up here, and we've got results here from the browser and results here from inside of a worker. And I just kind of want to show that that does work. So there's a lot of really cool features in the 4.0 version of the API, but this is by no means an extensive list of everything you can do. I didn't cover a lot of scene stuff or visual variables or the visualization stuff in here, but this is just a quick little preview and a sneak peek at what you can expect to be able to do with the 4.0 version of the API, and looking forward to all the cool apps everyone's going to build. Thank you.